Good evening and welcome to Front Page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. Tonight, we track a mega leap in AI infrastructure that's racing ahead of schedule, India's bold $18 billion chip push, a homegrown AI startup blasting onto the global stage, and why a single campus road in Bengaluru could ease one of the world's worst traffic jams. Let's head into the headlines for tonight. OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank's 5 new US data centers push their Stargate project towards a $500 billion, 10 gigawatt AI infrastructure target ahead of schedule. New Delhi has cleared 10 semiconductor projects worth 1.6 trillion rupees, about $18.2 billion, spanning fabs, testing, and packaging plants across 6 states. An ambitious push to cut import dependence and stake India's claim in the global chip supply chain. Rocket, the Surat-born AI platform that turns plain English ideas into production-ready apps, raises $15 million from SL and Salesforce Ventures to fuel global expansion. Finally, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has written to Wipro founder Azim Premji, urging the IT giant to allow limited vehicular movement through its Sarjapur campus, saying the move could cut peak hour congestion on Outer Ring Road (ORR) by nearly 30% and help unclog Bengaluru's worst traffic bottleneck. OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank unveiled 5 new US sites under Stargate, the private sector AI infrastructure program launched in January. The new build-out brings Stargate's planned capacity to nearly 7 gigawatts and more than $400 billion in investment over the next 3 years, putting the consortium on track to secure the full $500 billion and 10 gigawatt by the end of 2025. OpenAI says the expansion will create 25,000 on-site jobs across the new campuses. 3 facilities will be co-developed by OpenAI plus Oracle in Shackleford County, Texas, Donna Ana County, New Mexico, and a yet-to-be-named Midwest location, alongside a potential 600 megawatt expansion near the flagship Abilene, Texas campus, now planned for 8 buildings. 2 additional sites, Lordstown, Ohio, and Milam County, Texas, will be built by OpenAI plus SoftBank, with SP Energy powering the Texas site, and can scale to 1.5 gigawatt in 18 months. These join ongoing Oracle OpenAI Abilene work and separate CoreWeave projects already in flight. AI progress is gated by compute, not algorithms alone. Large multimodal and agentic models require clusters measured in hundreds of megawatts to gigawatts, sustained for months. For context, a typical hyperscale data center draws 50 to 100 megawatt. Stargate's endpoint is 10,000 megawatts, that is 10,000 gigawatts, an energy footprint comparable to 10 nuclear reactors. This is an industrial build-out not a single campus. OpenAI and partners will use debt financing to lease advanced chips, smoothing capex while scaling quickly. Meanwhile, power and cooling are the choke points. SoftBank is contributing next gen data center design and energy expertise, while SB Energy enables fast build powered sites. In parallel, Sam Altman backed Oklo and Vertiv are advancing small modular reactor plus higher efficiency steam cooling concepts that could anchor future gigawatt campuses with carbon free baseload. The expansion follows NVIDIA's intent to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI, tied to bringing 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems online, with the first 1 gigawatt on the Vera Rubin platform targeted for second half of 2026. This shifts NVIDIA from supplier to strategic co-builder, aligning hardware, networking, and model roadmaps so that training efficiency and silicon co-evolve. Oracle is delivering capacity on Oracle Cloud infrastructure at unusual speed. GB 200 racks began landing in June, and OpenAI has early training/inference workloads already live. The timing dovetails with Oracle's leadership reset. Clay Mogurk and Mike Cecilia have been named co-CEOs, with Safra Katz becoming executive vice chair and Larry Ellison remaining CTO. McGurk, a founder of Oracle's cloud engineering team, signals a clear emphasis on AI cloud infrastructure at planetary scale. Stargate is the showcase. Stargate was kicked off at the White House in January as a private market driven answer to the geopolitics of compute amid export controls on AI chips to China and a broader push for compute sovereignty. Building on US soil tightens supply chain control, power, land, permitting, workforce, and reduces exposure to overseas bottlenecks, even as partners like SoftBank and its ARM ecosystem, of course, bring global design and manufacturing leverage, grid, and permitting. Well, multi gigawatt interconnects demand utility upgrades, water stewardship, and local approvals typically reserved for heavy industry. Thermal management, cooling millions of GPUs at acceptable PUE/WEF levels requires novel heat rejection, liquid cooling, and sitting near resilient water/energy sources. Also, capital discipline. Debt financed accelerators plus multi year power contracts must stay economical as interest rates, electricity prices, and GPU generations evolve. On the talent front, operating several gigawatt of high performance clusters needs a deep bench of power systems, networking, reliability, and ML systems engineers at multiple locations. Abilene, Texas, Oracle OpenAI flagship campus on Oracle Cloud infrastructure. Early workloads running, 8 buildings planned, additional 600 megawatt expansion contemplated. Near term ramp, which is about 18 months. Lordstown, Ohio, and Milam County, Texas, OpenAI plus SoftBank, scaling towards 1.5 gigawatt combined. The next wave, Shackleford County, Texas, Donna Ana County, New Mexico, Midwest site, which basically is OpenAI plus Oracle, pushing Stargate towards 7 gigawatt planned, all feeding the path to 10 gigawatts. Stargate is the clearest signal yet that the frontier of AI will be determined by who can stand up the most efficient, reliable, and clean compute at gigawatt scale. With 5 new sites, NVIDIA's direct capital tie-in, and Oracle's OCI execution under new leadership, OpenAI's compute backbone is shifting from a single partner dependency to a multi-pillar grid. So, if the power, cooling, and financing pieces hold together, this will be the template for national scale AI infrastructure and the platform for the next generation of models that make today's ChatGPT, well, look quaint. India has unleashed its most audacious technology play yet. 10 semiconductor projects worth 1.6 trillion rupees, that's $18.2 billion, have been approved across 6 states. This is a blueprint for a full stack semiconductor economy: design, fab, test, package, all happening inside India's borders. Back in 2022, when the United States blocked exports of advanced AI chips to China, a worldwide scramble for semiconductor self reliance began. India, for a very long, massive electronics consumer, but barely a footnote in chip manufacturing, spotted its opening and is now racing to catch up. At the heart of this silicon surge is Tata Electronics, teaming up with Taiwan's power chip semiconductor for a 910 billion rupees, that's $11 billion, fab at Dholera, Gujarat. It will produce chips for AI servers, EVs, microcontrollers, and display drivers. Micron is adding a $2.5 billion memory plant in Sanand, while CG Power with Renesas and Stars Microelectronics has launched an $863 million assembly and test facility. Assam will host Tata Semiconductor Assembly and Test, slated to go live by 2026. Odisha is home to India's first commercial compound semiconductor fab, a silicon carbide SEM Plus, the UK classic water fab project. Well, making silicon carbide chips for defense, EVs, and high efficiency solar inverters. 3D Glass Solutions is bringing advanced glass substrate packaging, the 3D heterogeneous integration tech powering next gen high performance computing and photonics. Mohali's Continental device will expand high power discrete lines, MOSFETs, IGBTs, and diodes, while Advanced System in Package Technologies in Andhra Pradesh will churn out 96 million units of mobile and automotive chips every year. HCL plus Foxconn are scaling their Jewar, Uttar Pradesh project, and Keynes Semicon already has a pilot facility live in Gujarat. New Delhi has rewritten the rule book. 50% of capital costs for every fab testing and packaging unit are now covered, no matter the chip node size. A parallel scheme supports domestic electronic component manufacturing, finally creating a homegrown buyer base for the chips these fabs will produce. A handful of fabs won't win the chip war. Let's be clear on that. Global manufacturers consider as many as 500 factors, from ultra pure chemicals to IP protection and logistics, before committing billions. India has chip design strength. ARM will design 2 nanometer AI server chips in Bengaluru, but it must scale its supply of specialty chemicals, enforce stronger IP laws, and build $1 million semiconductor workforce to match Taiwan or the United States. This was covered extensively on Front Page just a few days ago. Make sure that you please check it out. So, the next 3 to 4 years will make or break this $18 billion gamble. Fabs need vibration-free sites, 5 nines purity materials, and seamless road links. India must train over 1 million semiconductor professionals, even as the world faces a talent crunch. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav called it a big milestone, end quote. declaring that ARM will design 2 nanometer chips right here in India. Only a handful of nations can even attempt this level of chip design. Proof that India semiconductor mission is now trusted by the biggest names in global semiconductors. Remember our earlier front page episode from 28 nm to 7 nm? The leap begins with Tata. Tata's Gujarat fab is already building 28 nanometer chips with PSMC's help, and the government set a 5 to 7 year roadmap to crack 14 nanometer chips and 7 nanometer chips. But before all of that, 7 nanometer goal is met. India is already hosting 2 nanometer chip design through ARM's new center. Design leadership has arrived ahead of the manufacturing roadmap. When we first broke the 7nm story, we told you about IBM and IMEC, India's knowledge partners. IBM built the world's first 2 nanometer chip in 2021. IMEC powers breakthroughs for TSMC and Intel. With ARM's 2 nanometer design hub, the other half of the puzzle, world-class chip design, now lives in India. In just 11 years, India's electronics industry has grown sixfold to 11.5 lakh crore rupees, with exports up 8 times. That's fascinating. ARM choosing Bengaluru for 2 nanometer chip design is not just a corporate expansion. It's actually a strategic vote of confidence. Even as India races to manufacture 7 nanometer chips within 7 years, 2 nanometer designs will already be born in Bengaluru, ready to power the next generation of AI and mobile devices. India's $18 billion semiconductor blitz and its sudden leap to 2 nanometer chip design isn't just industrial policy. It's a geopolitical power play. Chips are the new oil, and India is no longer just a consumer. It's racing to become an indispensable node in the global semiconductor value chain. And as we told you first on front page, the leap from 7nm to 2nm proves the future of silicon is being written right here. Surat, India, a city known for polishing the world's diamonds, has just got a new kind of gem. Rocket, a 16-week-old AI startup, has raised $15 million in seed funding, co-led by Axel and Salesforce Ventures, with Together Fund joining the round. It is India's first true vibe coding platform, an AI system that turns a plain English idea into a fully production-ready app, not just a quick prototype. Most so-called vibe coding tools create a dazzling demo and fall apart once real users arrive. Some of the platforms have been covered by us extensively here on front page and debunked, be it Replete, Cursor, Lovable, and others. Interestingly, they were all from the West. Now we have an Indian alternative called Rocket, and Rocket is different. The company calls that the day 2 problem, which is the moment after the first wow, when bugs, brittle code, and endless rework set in. Rocket's answer is vibe solutioning. It blends the speed of natural language prompts with the discipline of production engineering. Instead of a single-page mock-up, Rocket delivers a clean code base with authentication, payments, integrations, and mobile-ready user interface that can be deployed to GitHub or published directly with a custom domain. This isn't a drag-and-drop toy. Rocket fuses Anthropic OpenAI and Google Gemini models with its own proprietary deep learning systems trained on years of data from the founders. Previous developer tool venture, Device, generating the first build takes about, 25 minutes, which is slower than rivals like Lovable or Cursor, but the result is enterprise grade code that Fortune 100 teams are already piloting in production. Rocket launched its beta in June 2025, and in barely 4 months, it has its wonderful numbers, which I'm just going to tell you. 400,000 plus users in 180 countries, including 10,000 plus paying subscribers. Built over 500,000 production ready apps. Reached $4.5 million in annual recurring revenue with an ambitious target of $20 to $25 million by year end and $60 to $70 million by June 2026. The United States already contributes 26% of revenue, Europe about 15 to 20%, and India roughly 10%. To serve this global base, Rocket is opening a new headquarters in Palo Alto, while its core engineering team remains in Surat, proving world-class deep tech can be built from Silicon Valley or Bengaluru. Gross margins stand at 50 to 55%, and the company expects to reach 60 to 70% as it scales. Co-founder and CEO Vishal Virani, a first-generation engineer, he faced early doubts. Investors questioned whether a small team from Surat without Ivy League pedigrees could build a global product. They never said it directly, end quote, he recalls. But every pitch carried the same pause. Can you really build global? Virani and his team turned that doubt into drive. Working 15-hour days, they built Rocket in silence. No launch parties, no hype, until traction spoke louder than geography. Stay tuned till the end, because there is a wonderful surprise that we have for all of you. Continuing with Rocket's takeoff and rise, Rocket's rise lands just as India's IT minister, Ashwini Vaishnav, publicly ditched foreign software for Zoho, urging citizens to embrace Swadeshi technology. Rocket embodies that call. An Indian product designed for a global market, proving that India can export not just IT services, but cutting-edge AI platforms. It also arrives as AI reshapes software economics by eliminating the gap between intent and production. Rocket is challenging the very need for large engineering teams. The next decade of app development may belong as much to prompt designers as to traditional coders. The seed round will accelerate proprietary model development to reduce dependence on third-party LLMs. A full agentic system that can research markets, plan product roadmaps, and handle iterative updates, potentially replacing layers of product management. Expansion of engineering and product teams in India and the United States, with headcount expected to double within 12 months. Rocket's North Star: one prompt, one production grade application. Like promised, well, here's that time and here's that wonderful surprise. Joining us is Vishal Virani, co-founder and CEO of Rocket. Vishal is a first-generation engineer from Surat and a former founder of Device. Vishal is on a mission to make every imagination production ready, proving that world-class AI innovation can be built in India and scaled across the globe. Well, for the first time on Front Page, a big, warm welcome to Vishal Virani. How are you doing, Vishal?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing much better now. Super happy to actually have you on the show with us. Congrats on the funding and congrats on the early milestones. And I must say this, there are lots more to come in the coming days. I know it is early, but the numbers are looking quite staggering, Vishal.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, before we take off with the Rocket story, how does it feel to be live with us on Front Page after this beautiful, wonderful achievement?
To be honest, I always believe in journey. So definitely we are super excited for this on, but this is just in beginning. We are aiming for a
Nice.
big things where we can show the world like, okay, what we can build it from India, and that's why we are super excited. And what we are enjoying is the like journey, that struggle, and the kind of an energy that team is having to achieve this milestone. So it's like always great to see this thing in reality, because it's always a dream of a founder who is working from a tier 2 city which is not known for the tech. And when you say like, okay, you are going to build a native AI company from India, and that too from a tier 2 city, it's always like a laughing moment from lots of people. But
Sure.
now it's become reality, and like feeling so happy.
That is so nice, and that's so wonderful to hear, Vishal. You said you obviously give a lot of credit to the fact that it's a journey. Is that what inspired Rocket as a name? The journey, which is forever going to be ongoing?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
I said that you like the idea, you applaud the idea of the journey, Vishal. So I wanted to check right before we deep dive into your entire journey of Rocket. Is that the reason why you gave the name Rocket, because of the journey aspect of things? What inspired it?
It looks like some technical glitch.
Or there's a
I'm not
technical issue
able
where
to.
you can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Not really.
You can't hear me. Okay, Vishal, till we actually go ahead and fix this little technical glitch. Can you hear me now?
I'm not able to listen anything.
All right, Vishal, listen. Hold on to your, and tighten your seatbelts and hold on to your horses. We're going to
Uh,
take a little break right
Deepak,
now till we fix this small little technical glitch, because
कुछ
we
भी
don't
सुनाई नहीं
want
दे
to
रहा
have any
है.
moments of what we are missing out on in the conversation as far as Vishal Virani is concerned. So let's take a small little break. When we are back, we are going to go ahead and continue and kick off our conversation about Rocket and its journey.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
And I have seen this place grow from strength to strength. Speakers, the sessions, and the vibe around that.
Love the vibe. Love to see how big it has gotten over the years.
The largest AI conference in India.
Cypher has definitely attained a cult status.
Artificial
intelligence. AI. Coexisting. AI.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
And I have seen this place.
Vishal, are you ready? Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back to Front Page. And yes, I'm as always excited to welcome back Vishal Virani. We had a slight technical glitch, but that's been resolved. And our conversation is going to take off pretty much like rocket. Well, Vishal, great to have you back now that we are back on talking terms again. So I just want to deep dive right into it. From device to rocket, what pain points convinced you that the world needed vibe solutioning instead of quick prototypes? And how did those lessons shape rocket's architecture?
A great question, by the way. So when we started Device, it was like Figma to code platform, and it was like pre-LLM era. We had like very bold vision of automating the entire software development lifecycle. But at that time, before the LLM, it was a very hard to solve problem. So we started with like one feature of Figma to code, and eventually with the advancement of LLM, we realized like, okay, this is not the only thing that world needs. Actually, we can solve end to end. And when we talk about the vibe solutioning and the day two problem, actually it's not about just generating the code. It's about the maintaining the code in the production. It's about like solving end to end. So we know like world builds hundreds and thousands of applications every day, but how many successful applications are there? How many quality applications are there? Even in the age of AI, we are still struggling with a broken systems, a very bad UI. There is no intuitiveness, there is no delightfulness. And that's where we think like, okay, if we put our knowledge and if our learning from device in the right way with the power of an LLM, we can solve this problem. And that's why it's not just coding, but it's like solving the real problem of day two, where if someone is building any product using Rocket, they should deliver the delightful experience to their end users. They should deliver the quality, secure code to their end users. And it's not just about delivering the code, but it's about like how they can grow with Rocket platform, how we can solve their product management problem, research problem, everything in a quality way. So the entire goal is like how we can remove all the mundane and repetitive work from users' life, and we can add the value. We can enhance the creativity with our platform is something that we realize with our device learning and the advancement of an LLM, and that's how we come up with the concept of vibe solutioning. And when we see our own result, when we started using Rocket at for our own stuff, so we are building all internal tools and everything using our own product before even we ship it to the world. And that's where we realize like, okay, this is something which can help all the users who wants to build a dream digital product, but they either don't have the resources or they don't know the programming. Uh, and with that thought, like we started with the vibe solutioning platform named Rocket from Device. So it's ultimately a very hard learnings from like 3 to 4 years starting
Sure.
before the LLM and now landing on Rocket.
But the way I understand it, Vishal, is the fact that there is a vision to this entire endeavor, and the fact that you were able to embrace all of the learnings and do it and implement it, and it is definitely bearing its fruit. Quality versus speed, I'd mentioned that as far as Rocket is concerned. I just have to, of course, give you this little quote, which is, as Salesforce Ventures Karthik Gupta puts it, they've shifted the focus from writing code faster to seamlessly translating ideas into complete production grade solutions. Rocket takes longer than rivals to generate an app, but promises code that holds up in production. This, in my head, is a big compliment. And the question is, how do you persuade Fortune 100 teams that this trade off is actually worth it?
So it's always about like quality and a kind of an apple to apple comparison. Definitely, we are taking a longer time than anyone else to generate our first result. But what we realize in like first 16 weeks of our journey is like user don't want the code in 3 minutes. What they want is like a complete comprehensive solution where we can take off their cognitive load. Yeah, it was a very bold bet that we took, because like generally when this kind of an things we need to build it from India, and particularly if we say like, okay, we will deliver the results in 25 minutes, where all the platform of the world is delivering it like in 1 minute to 3 minutes, it was a bold bet. But we were very certain about few things, and the kind of a philosophy that we are having is about like building serious application. We took a very bold bet, like, okay, we will take a time, we'll put our agentic system in a work in a way we can deliver the right results. And it's okay to give the results in like 20-25 minutes. There is nothing wrong in that. Yes, if and we were very particular, we were observing all the data, and we see like 90% of our users are ready to wait for a 25 minutes. And that's where we see, and when we talk to our users, they said like, okay, if I want to do this thing in any platform of the world, actually I'm spending like more than 4 to 5 days versus 25 minutes. So it's not about like first result, it's about
Elaborate
the
on that,
end result.
Vishal. Sorry, just elaborate on that. When you say 4 to 5 days versus 25 minutes on any other platform, it would be nice for a lot of our viewers to probably hear from you a real world example or maybe a use case for you to
Yeah.
shed light on that aspect.
Definitely. So let's say if you want to build, let me take a very simple example
Sure.
for the audience. If I want to build a chat application, same like in WhatsApp, and if I'm putting a one sentence like, okay, give me a personalized chat application for my business, and that's where all other platform will give you a one simple landing page or one simple dashboard screen or something like that, and then you need to understand the prompting, then you need to tweak it a lot, and you will constantly feed more and more prompt to achieve your end results. And that's where you need to take all the cognitive load, you need to understand everything, you need to put more and more prompt, and that's where system will break and maybe few things happen. And that's how like people ended up spending like 3 to 4 days to achieve their
Sure.
end results.
Sure.
Versus in Rocket, when people feed like one sentence, give me a chat application for my, let's say, grocery business, we will do everything in behalf of user. We'll decide like what screens is required, what are the critical screens, what should be the elements in that particular thing, what should be the best layout, best design theme, what can be the best navigation, which generally user do not understand.
Sure.
If we want to democratize like entire way of building this application on internet, we should give that delightful experience. And that was like kind of a philosophy that we are having at Rocket. So ultimately, instead of giving that cognitive load to user, what we are doing is like doing that end-to-end research on behalf of users in the background. And in 25 minutes, when we'll give the result, it will be like complete results where user don't need to put more and more prompt. So if you do the apple to apple comparison, our 25 minutes time may be equal to like 4 to 5 days of time in other platforms. And that's why I'm saying like user believe in the end results, not the first results. And that was a bold bet, but like kind of in data that we observe, we are very happy. Like we go out of box way to build this, and we can say like, okay, this is like first company who went in that direction and
Sure.
and getting a really good success.
I must say that one line that you use, 4 to 5 days as compared to 25 minutes, I'm sure you would have used that as far as your pitch is concerned to the big companies, and I'm sure it worked because you said it very, very convincingly, and I'm pretty sure Rocket delivers as well. Which of course brings me to this: building global from Surat with a core team in Surat and a new Palo Alto headquarter. Question is, how do you balance an Indian identity with the demands of a fast scaling global user base? How are you tying those things up?
So to be honest, like in the world of AI, people don't care about like from where you belongs.
Okay.
It's all about like a quality of product, and still we are a Surat headquarter company. Definitely Palo Alto office is going to be a front face for the enterprises, but still we are going to be like a Surat headquarter company. And we are getting, so even I don't need to answer this question in a theoretical way because our data speaks on behalf of us.
Sure.
Users from
Nicely
180
put.
countries,
Nicely put.
100 and users, paid users from 140 countries, like 26% users paying from US. Like we are having a large user base in Brazil, almost Europe, India, Indonesia, everywhere. So I don't think like people judge you on the base of your headquarter. And even when I wrote my post about a funding announcement, I said like, okay, zip code does not matter if you build
Nice.
the right product. If you are
But
definitely,
sorry,
people will
Vishal,
judge
just
you
one
if you
thing
put a
one thing came to mind. Sorry, but I would like for you to maybe answer this along with what you were just saying, because one thing came to mind. This is once you've delivered a product. What was it like prior to that? I mean, till the product was delivered, were there any inhibitions or were there any these doubts that probably took place? Now, of course, the product is up and running and is delivering and doing it a brilliant job. But prior to that, does my question still stand?
definite. So when I started Device, like I was very confident about like my team, who was working with me from long time, and we were like, when we see our own results, we were like, we knew it, like it's going to create a very big and long lasting impact on our users' mind. So it was never a doubt when we were building a product. Like, okay, will people judge us on the base of our headquarters? Definitely yes. You need to course correct yourself. So we will not rigid about it, but we will very excited and like confident about our product. So when we launch and when we got the early traction organically, we will realize like, okay, we don't need to worry about our headquarter or zip code, like where we are based out of. And in fact, like that's a proud moment, and people took it very positively. Like, okay, because everyone is not belong to San Francisco when
Sure.
it comes to a user base. When a user in a Brazil, a farmer in a Brazil using a product, actually they feel more proud. Like, okay, this company is coming from somewhere which is not non-location, and they are delivering the right results. So as I said, like we are not rigid about our decision of building it from only Surat. If it went wrong in a wrong direction, maybe we change a strategy. But as I said, like we were very confident about like kind of product we were building. Like we can build it from Surat and we can put it on the global map. And yeah, that's how it's working. And that's my core philosophy from building my first venture, like building it from Surat for
Nicely.
the world.
Nice, nice, Vishal. Of course, you're waving the Indian flag, and trust me, that person in Brazil will definitely know where Surat is after what you have done. And of course, it is the fact that you are another diamond coming out of Surat. So basically, the next one, the agentic future. You plan to build an AI system that can actually not only code but also research markets and manage product iterations. How far can AI go in replacing traditional product management?
A question that we are getting from day one, like, okay, will you replace people? To be honest, no. We are any system cannot replace the people from the system. It's always built for the empowering them to enhance their creativity. Still, world needs a stable and the delightful softwares, a creativity where we can solve the problem of world. And there are like millions of problems which needs to be fixed with the digital system, and people need it right now. So there is one thing, like if someone is not adapting AI, they will definitely get replaced.
Hmm.
But if someone is using AI and if they put the creativity in motion, this system will enhance like the entire experience and the way they are working. So ultimately, what AI will replace? It's not people, but a mediocre, mundane and repetitive work, a clerical work from people's lives. So ultimately, every time still we are complaining about a work-life balance. Like, okay, I need to work for 15 hours if I want to deliver something good. Why? It's not required. Like, okay, in 8 hours of time, you can do 80 hours of work. So have your work-life balance, enjoy your life, spend Saturday, Sunday with your kids. And that's how like AI is going to improve your life. It's not going to replace you, but definitely you need to adapt it. This is a new thing. You cannot just stay away from it, and you cannot just say like, okay, if you will be in fear of getting replaced, then definitely you will be replaced. But if you adapt it as a superpower, then you will able to put your creativity in picture, and you will able to create, so everyone can deliver the better experience to their end users, and that's what agentic system is going to do.
Nice. Vishal, what do you do to find that work-life balance? Just a quick question. What do you do to go ahead and blow off your steam? What do you do to go ahead and find your creativity and passion?
So my co-founder Deepak always said this. We like personally at Rocket, we believe we don't need a work-life balance. What we require is a work-life rhythm. We are
Okay.
enjoying our work. We are enjoying the kind of an impact that we are creating in the world from Surat, and that's where we find our rhythm. And actually, we always believe like, okay, how we can enjoy our rhythm, and that's how I work for like 15, 16 hours, and I enjoy that rhythm. So right
Now,
now
of
I
course, we're
cannot
in the
talk
middle
much
of
about a
Navratri.
balance.
So, are you spending time doing a little bit of dandiya?
To be honest, I'm in SF right now with
Okay.
my team, so
Okay.
I'm not able to get the time for that.
Okay.
But as I said, like that's the rhythm you need to figure it out in your life. This year, if I miss the dandiya, next year I will play it double. But right now, what is most important for Rocket is like delivering the right features where we can
Sure.
impact our users' life. We can help them to solve better, and that's where we are focusing at this in this year.
Trust me, the way rocket is flying, we'll have a lot of India doing a little dandiya with you, with rocket shaped dandiyas. Trust me. Of course, we're going
I
into
think I
India's
think
with. Yeah.
I think India is better at building rockets. So this is one
Well
more.
said. Well said. So, well, India's Swadeshi moment, you have hit the perfect segue with national leaders urging adoption of homegrown platforms. You would have heard that, Vishal. Ashwini Vaishnav, the IT minister. Can Rocket become the flagship of India's next tech export wave and make vibe coding a household concept worldwide? No pressure, of course.
Yeah, see, it's not about. I don't have any doubt in that. The answer is like a pure yes. If we are able to build a UPI moment, we can build anything. That's like we are a great country and we can build a great product. And definitely, the kind of an like a youth that we are having, we can create this moment, and that's where everyone in India will able to build something which will create a very big moment for the world. And that's I truly believe. The simple answer is yes.
Wonderful. That's very encouraging. Before I let you go, Vishal, you obviously are aware of the fact that India has just cleared a 1.6 trillion rupees worth of a semiconductor project, and big AI players are actually scouting sites. We are all aware for gigawatt scale data sensors. So the question is, if the future of AI infrastructure is slowly gravitating towards India and in the near future is laid in India, do you see Rocket positioning itself as the made in India layer of intelligence that runs on top of that hardware?
We are already made in India. As I said, like proudly building it from Surat. So we are already made in India product, and yes, we are
In
going to be
terms of
made in
the
India in future.
ecosystem, in terms of the other people, in terms of the aspects of you encouraging and maybe sending out a message to all of those to join in this wonderful little wave.
Yes, obviously, and that's why when we got featured at Nasdaq, like I hold that Indian flag, like okay, India can
Nice.
build anything. Don't doubt yourself. Don't get it into pressure of like okay, you will not able to build it from India. It's all about the founders' will. If they think they can build it, and as I said, like if we are able to build UPI, then we can build anything. And like I encourage everyone to just think through it, like instead of just doubting and the questioning yourself, like just think how you can build it. It's all about like founders' will, and if anyone has a will, they can build a made in India product. Doesn't matter.
Wonderful.
It's a generative AI or the next generation LLMs. It can be possible.
Wonderful. Vishal, wishing you all of the best as always. And needless to say, onwards and upwards, especially in your case, since it's rocket. Well, thank you so much. And that was Vishal who joined us, the co-founder. And this is what, well, I guess I could understand from that very, very positive, encouraging milestone that Rocket has achieved. From Surat to Silicon Valley, from prototypes to production, Rocket's story isn't just about building apps faster. It's actually about proving that India can build the very platforms the world will run on. In a moment when talent, infrastructure, and imagination are all in flux, the real vibe is this. Innovation has no postcode, and the next global wave can just as easily rise from Surat as from San Francisco. And if tonight has shown us anything, it's that this rocket isn't just taking off, it's aimed straight at the future. Well, we'll take a short little break for right now, but we will be back with a story about a letter from the Karnataka CM that has put the IT corridor into focus. We will be back on Front Page right after this.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
And I have seen this place grow from strength to strength. Speakers, the sessions, and the vibe around that.
Love the vibe. Love to see how big it has gotten over the years.
The largest AI conference in India.
Cypher has definitely attained a cult status.
Artificial intelligence. AI. Coexisting. AI.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
And I have seen this place grow from strength to strength. Speakers, the sessions, and the vibe around that.
Love the vibe. Love to see how big it has gotten over the years.
The largest AI conference in India.
Cypher has definitely attained a cult status.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Front Page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. And finally, on Front Page tonight, on 19th of September, Karnataka's Chief Minister Siddaramaiah wrote an unusual letter to Azim Premji, founder, chairman of Wipro. He asked the company to allow limited vehicular movement through its Sarjapur campus with security safeguards and mutually agreed terms. The reason? Outer Ring Road, ORR, gridlock near Iblur Junction is now so severe that, according to government traffic studies, a controlled right-of-way through the Wipro campus could cut congestion on adjoining stretches by nearly 30% during peak hours. Well, to grasp the urgency, step back from the daily jam and look at the numbers. Keapuram Metro to Silk Board, just 19 kilometers. 500 plus IT companies from the largest global tech giants to India's own unicorns. 9.5 lakh high-paying jobs directly anchored here. 1.5 lakh crore rupees, approximately $18 billion in annual IT exports. That works out to roughly $1 billion of foreign exchange earned, wait for it, every single kilometer, every year. No other 15 to 20 kilometer road in India carries such a direct link to national GDP. So when traffic here stalls, a measurable chunk of India's tech services engine stalls with it, affecting client deliveries from New York to Tokyo. Peak hour traffic routinely turns the ORR into a very slow-moving parking lot, and we've all experienced it. A stretch that should take 25 minutes can drag to 90 minutes and also drag with it a part of your life. Potholes, monsoon flooding, and uneven road maintenance compound the gridlock. Productivity losses are no longer anecdotal. Tech firms report missed client calls, disrupted shift changes, and rising attrition as employees endure 2-hour one-way commutes. Let's not even talk about the mental trauma. Siddaramaiah's letter calls Wipro's cooperation a short-term tactical fix. a limited access corridor through Wipro Sarjapur campus, policed for security, to divert a slice of ORR peak hour traffic, cutting load on the critical Iblur-Belandur choke point by an estimated 30%. He frames it as a civic partnership, a quick, locally controlled step that can ease commuter pain while bigger infrastructure catches up. But the Chief Minister himself admits that the private campus detours are not a long term solution. Bengaluru's ORR has become the single densest IT corridor in India's $250 billion technology economy, yet public infrastructure has lagged. Metro extension. The KR Puram Silk Board line is under construction, but years late. Arterial roads and flyovers. Few alternate east west connectors exist to offload ORR. Public transport. BMTC buses struggle with reliability. Commuter rail links remain thin. Flood management. Recurring monsoon flooding forces lane closures and worsens jams. Without a coordinated state and central government response, every new IT park adds cars faster than roads or trains can absorb. Urban mobility planners argue that the ORR corridor should be treated as national economic infrastructure, not merely a city road. They urge this: fast tracking the metro and last mile feeder services, building arterial connectors to divert traffic away from the ring road, offering tax rebates for carpooling and world class timetabled bus services, considering airport helicopter shuttles and high capacity flyovers to handle peak flows. Sounds all nice. Seen from a macro lens, every kilometer of this 19-kilometer corridor earns India roughly $1 billion in foreign exchange each year. Few stretches of asphalt anywhere in the country are so directly tied to the GDP growth, investor confidence, and India's global tech brand. If this road chokes, India's digital exports choke with it. Siddaramaiah's letter to Wipro is both a plea for immediate relief and a sharp reminder to policymakers in Bengaluru and New Delhi. This is not just a local traffic nuisance. The ORR IT belt is a national economic artery, and its smooth functioning is a matter of strategic importance. Opening Wipro's gates might buy temporary breathing space, but the real test is whether governments can match the corridor's economic weight with infrastructure of equal ambition. Bengaluru's ORR from KR Puram to Silk Board, just 19 kilometers. I'm just running the numbers again. Hosts 500 plus IT companies, 9.5 lakh jobs, and 1.5 lakh crore rupees in annual IT exports. That's close to $1 billion in foreign exchange per kilometer every year. When this corridor stalls a big slice of India's tech engine, well, slows. Joining us today is industry expert from the Greater Bengaluru IT Companies and Industries Association, GBITCIA. Welcome to the show, Diana Das. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing very well, and of course, hopefully, we'll all do a lot better after our discussion because, as I've just mentioned, this is genuinely a serious choke point, no pun intended.
Agree. This is something which has been there for a very long time, and it's high time we find a solution to this.
Wonderful. So actually, let's dive in, ma'am. I actually wanted you to throw light on what GBITCIA to our audience and tell us why this industry body has become the voice of Bengaluru's IT and tech landscape alongside its contributions and work in the recent past. Before we actually get into the nitty-gritties of the letter and the way forward.
Okay. GBITCIA is a company where we work closely with all the government bodies across Karnataka, and we would love to take help from all the companies across Bangalore to help in various situations, various scenarios, and not just help or take the ownership to handle their problem and take it to the government and also ensure it is resolved. One of such is the traffic.
Hmm. Sure. And a big problem that is. So, well, my first question, ma'am. How serious is the productivity and economic loss that you see every day from the current traffic mess? How serious is that in terms of the
Okay.
numbers, in terms of probably the feedbacks that you've been getting, the conversations that you've been having? I would really, really like for you to go ahead and educate us all on that.
It is a very serious concern because the economy of uh, country or state is purely dependent on the end workers who work on ground.
Hmm.
So if we cannot take care of our own employees, if we cannot handle their basic need and their basic problems, it is definitely going to affect our economy. And if I'm not wrong, it's already affecting. For
Sure.
example, the productivity of a company is how healthy an employee is. Is our employees healthy to handle various situations that comes during their work hours?
Hmm.
To handle pressure, we all go through different pressures, right? It's not that this we can avoid. How can we handle that? How healthy is our lifestyle? If one has to travel for about 90 minutes to 130 minutes on an average in a
Man,
day,
most of times even more.
yes, even more, I agree.
Yeah.
So how healthy an individual is he going to give his heart? Is he going to work for a longer period? Is his health is going to support? His
Sure.
family will support? Definitely no. The answer is no. So we are here to find that solution. So we have to find that solution. It's high time we find the solution now because Bangalore is a place which has grown very fast in the
Yes.
last 10 years. And for us to grow to this level, many of us have put in a lot of hard work, right? Why should we just let go by this
Hmm.
problem of traffic?
Yeah.
It is not a problem that we cannot handle. It is just that we have not handled. We will handle it now together. With that's the aim of GBITCIA. We will handle it and we will have a solution to it.
Ma'am, at least there is a sense of honesty from the fact that what you said that we have not been able to handle, but there is at least the sense of trying to handle it. Because what you said very rightly, and before actually I come to what Mr. Siddaramaiah says, I actually wanted to say this that, one is looking at a further expansion as far as Bengaluru is concerned in terms of, let's say, the GCC ecosystem. Just to give you an example, it looks wonderful, it looks very encouraging, and of course the tier 2 cities as well. But no, all the time the general sentiment is this is nice, this is sweet in terms of people who are working in this ecosystem, but they always end up harking to the fact that wait a minute, can we at least fix the roads, can we at least fix the potholes, can we at least get to work on time? So I think it's very, very important for us to go ahead and address that and do it in a very urgent manner.
I agree on that. So it's like you said, it is an urgent need. This needs an urgency where we have to create more and more traffic marshals. We have to create more and more awareness on those bottleneck areas where the traffic piles up. Figure out what the problem there is, and not solve for one day, but for follow up process of how to handle that situation on these areas are more important, and on not just fix just for a day or a week or for a month. We need to find the permanent solutions. There are certain areas where we found the bottleneck, we resolved that issue, and we had a smooth traffic for a
Which
month. But
ones are
no,
those? I
we
mean,
need
at
to.
least one can pat one's back and say, okay, we've done it there. Now we can at least
Mhm.
definitely go ahead and address these. If you
See,
were
there are
alluding to a couple of
ways.
points where you did manage to solve the problem.
See, if I take the entire stretch of Outer Ring Road, there were many bottlenecks that were identified, starting from Kiarapuram to Electronic City or to Silk Board. Okay, that stretch is the IT belt. Okay, the entire IT world is in that area,
True, true.
and we have to handle that place. There's no second choice or there's no second thought about it. We have to push ourselves a little more harder to get that solution, which is not happening. That's where, while I did read the letter from our CM,
Yeah, yeah.
we have also written to Wipro, and we are finding ways to get this sorted out. We will have to join hands with the government. We will have to support them. But coming back to the point where what CM is asking for, do we see that as a permanent solution?
No, he
In
himself
my
agrees that it's a temporary one. The CM actually says this, and I will just go ahead
yes,
and give context, ma'am. He's actually saying opening a controlled route through
hmm,
Wipro's Sarjapur campus could
hmm.
actually cut jams by 30%. But my question is that realistic, and how quickly could it be implemented, albeit it being a short-term solution? He is also admitting that
See,
it's not a long-term one.
yes, he's admitting because he is aware. If the CM, especially like Mr. Siddaramaiah, who's one of the very veteran CMs, if he is
Sure.
writing a letter, he definitely knows. It's not that he does not know. He definitely knows that's an interim solution, not a permanent solution. He is aware. So, what is the permanent solution to that place? So, while we all know getting the place from Wipro, we will have to have policies and governing bodies around this, because we will have more such requests even in future. Okay,
Sure.
so our request would be to ensure that there are proper governing bodies and proper process and policies on this topic. And we, like GBITCIA, we are here to have such work done between the government and the IT companies, IT or non-IT companies. That's where we come into picture. And
Diana, ma'am, I'm sorry, but immediately what comes to my mind, I mean,
Mhm,
as a citizen, the first thing that actually pops up in my head when you talk about policies, you talk about planning for sure. But the first thing
mhm,
actually that comes to mind is, like you mentioned a little while back, that Bangalore has definitely grown leaps and bounds, and that's
mhm,
brilliant in the last 10 years. Do you feel that there has been somewhere a paralysis of planning in terms of the fact that yes, there are huge amount of fund which is flowing. There are lots of
mhm.
companies which are coming in, they want to set up. We have provided them with the talent, the infrastructure, etc. But the infrastructure, as far as planning is concerned, there is probably somewhere there is a huge yawning gap there. Do you feel that is something which needs to be identified in the near future?
I wouldn't say there was a paralysis because Bangalore is a place which has grown very fast.
Sure.
Okay, we all accept that, right? While we accept it's gone very fast, we will also have to understand there's a lot of effort that goes behind handling situations when a place is developing very fast,
Hmm.
right? So we'll have to put in more efforts, is what I would say. We have done a great job. We have brought in so many metro lines in the past few years. I am a
Some of them
Bangalorean.
are
I'm a
very
proud
delayed, ma'am. I mean, if I wish they would have come all the way they would have. So, for example, only 3 bogies are right now just traversing. If and they will always, obviously they will ramp up by next year alone. But yeah, I mean, you're right. At least there is some sort of a start. There is some sort of progress.
Yeah, some sort of progress. I definitely see there. It's not an easy place, especially when Bangalore is, where everybody around the world would love to come and live here, right? I I I am a proud Bangalorean,
No,
so I have
absolutely.
seen how this place has grown. So for me, if you ask, do you want to work in US? I would say no. I'm happy here. Or if you want to go to any other state, I
Hmm.
would say I'm happy here. And I have friends who have come up from outside Bangalore and they live here and they feel this is the most safest place. So thanks to our government who's making us feel safe every day. I'm sure we all can walk easily on the roads these days. We have many
If there is
good
space to
developments.
walk, ma'am, that is actually where the
Yes,
problem is.
yes. So that's where we have to fix.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. We'll have to fix that. So we haven't fixed it, or we did we fix it? Is not that we did not fix it or we made our efforts. I'm saying we'll have to push ourselves a little more harder, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so
It's not
before I
that
go to
we do.
Wipro, ma'am, before I
Hmm.
actually go to Wipro, beyond Wipro is what my question is. But before I go up to that, very quickly, I wanted to ask you, you say, of course, you as an organization have seen a very rapid growth. I do understand, maybe, yes, there have been challenges when that kind of pressure of growth comes in. Certain things tend to kind of obviously take the back seat, whatever it might be. But in terms of now, what have been probably your learnings as an organization, since you act as a wonderful conduit between the government and the tech companies? What are your learnings from the past mistakes that you would like to course correct?
Like I said in one of my statement,
Hmm.
we are trying to find a solution just for a day. So, for the example, if there's a festival, kind of put in more uh, um, traffic police. If there's a festival or if there is a long holiday, we kind of put more traffic marshals around bus stands or bus stations or train stations. Why
Hmm.
not do that on a daily basis?
Hmm. Hmm.
Correct?
Okay.
Why not we do? So, for example, if we have like 1,000 people on a festival weekend on a bus station,
Hmm.
they are the same 1,000 people who are at the on road every day, right? Why
Hmm.
not we fix that? So, put in more traffic marshals, put in more um, take more traffic marshals from the IT companies. The IT
Hmm.
companies can come forward to put in more on-road traffic marshals. Like, let's bring in an association between traffic, the IT companies, non-IT, and IT, and the government, the traffic police department, the Bangalore Traffic Police Department,
Hmm.
and IT and non-IT companies. Let them come together and we will bring up, we will help, GBITCIA will help them form an association and we will get the solution. We'll work
Okay.
together, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Diana ma'am, would you like to maybe tell us about or shed light on the fact that is there any exclusive project apart from this one, of course, which requires all our attention, future projects and any exclusives that GBITCIA is working on? Like, for example, you just mentioned a wonderful little marriage that could take place between marshals, or, for example, the overall authorities and the tech companies, and you will be able to facilitate that. Anything that
Correct.
is a particular exclusive project that you're working on in the future, which you might be able to go ahead and educate us on?
Okay, so there are a couple of more projects that we are working on, but they all are in a very initial phases for us to
Okay.
discuss or talk about it. At this point in time, seems to be a bit too early for me. But
Hmm.
definitely, as and when we have some information, we will definitely share with you all because we work in hand, right? What we do
Sure.
is what you help us develop that or create that. Awareness among people. So we will definitely share it with you all so you can take it further.
Ma'am,
But at this point in time,
we want to spread that awareness with a big smile that the problem in ORR has been solved. Trust me, I will do a backflip with glee if that problem is
I
solved.
am
Trust me.
very positive about that. I'm very, very positive about that. I'm sure the way Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is working at this moment for this one particular stretch is commendable. So we will definitely work along on the same path with them, and we will take this to the next level. I'm sure we will have a conversation very soon where these things are resolved, and we will have a conversation of what next.
Okay. So, well, apart beyond Wipro, for example, what quick fixes in the next 1 to 2 months? Let's say signal changes, bus priority, carpool incentives. We had mentioned that. Do you think that those would make the biggest difference, or do you have something else in mind?
I wouldn't say any of this would make any major differences because
No,
we
that's
do have
depressing.
yes, we it wouldn't it might like opening up the road for what Mr. Siddaramaiah has asked the Wipro Even if Wipro gives, we are very thin line chances of having it 100% resolved, right? We are aware of that. It's the same thing. If you add more buses or if you add more traffic marshals, if you had more traffic police on the road, it is not going to solve the problem. What's going to solve the problem is our metro line, especially on the outer ring
Okay.
road.
Okay.
So the metro line has to go on a fast track. Uh, for example, you mentioned to me just a while ago on the yellow line that we have only 6 bogies and
Yes.
we are short of. Why? Because the usage is so high and people are finding it convenient. Hence, what
Agreed.
will happen with outer ring road?
There is still only a 25-minute wait that people are enduring right now. Obviously, if the
Which
bogies
is
in
still
numbers go
fine.
up, which is still fine, but
Which
as
is
they
still
go up,
fine.
yeah.
Yes, people are still okay. They will go sit there, chit chat. I myself have traveled in that place and I did experience, I did talk to a couple of them to understand how they feel. They're still happy. They have found
Sure.
new friends. They're chit chatting because they know now I need to wait for 25 minutes. They're planning their day very well. But
Right.
instead of they're spending 25 minutes on traffic, without any plan, though you plan, you still end up on 25 minutes on traffic, which you are unplanned because you never know
And the
what's
trauma,
going to
of course.
happen.
Correct. Yeah,
And the
that's true.
trauma and the
Yeah.
nausea sitting inside a car or
And the
sitting
losing
inside
of
the
hair.
bus.
Yeah.
Yes, but this is much better. I have met people. They are still they're saying it's okay. I'm sure government will handle. They have that faith. They have that faith
So
in the
there is that
government.
faith
So
still, but I mean, this is, of course, ma'am, what your perspective says. A lot of people, I ended up having a conversation, or generally speaking, a lot of people are unfortunately feeling the pain. They feel that maybe their voices are not being heard. Yes, there is a lot of growth. Yes, there is a lot of development, which they're all happy about. But I
yes,
think this is something which is so ingrained and so traumatic and so scarring that they're not being able to see the beautiful horizons that probably the
correct.
government is trying to bring in terms of the development, because this to them, they feel that this is fixable. If the government can do that, then you know what, this can be easily fixed. Why a delay in the metro line? Why not going ahead and having the number of
That's
bogies
that's
that are required?
that's my
Things like that.
question. So I'm sure government is hearing people's voice. I'm sure they are working towards it. We will shortly see more bogies added to the yellow line. But the same way, we should push ourselves and get the ORR metro line running fast. So if you add more buses, if you add more traffic marshals, if you add more traffic police, it's not going to give you a permanent solution. What's going to give you a permanent solution is the metro line. So while we plan metro line to be fastened, ensure there are sufficient number of runs and ensure there's sufficient number of bogies that's added to help people move quickly and faster. Trust me, the day metro line is opened on ORR, you and I will not be talking about this topic.
Okay, ma'am, finally, I would like for you to tell us, as somebody who is obviously hearing the voice of the government, and is also understanding and coordinating with the tech companies, the big ones. What would you like to say to the people of Bengaluru? As far as this is, of course, a huge choke point, it's a huge jam, but you would need, I would really like for you to tell us in terms of how we need to make sure that we need to keep our faith alive. We need to make sure that this is happening. Of course, the CM has written a letter, which is an initiative, but it's only for the short term.
Okay. So do raise your voice. GBITCIA does have its own website. We do have our own Insta. We do have our own LinkedIn portals. Do reach out to us. Share us your concerns. Share us your opinions. Share us your thoughts. How we can develop together. We can definitely work together and get the solution for what we want. And when I say we, it's all of us. I'm not saying GBITCIA alone. It's all of us. What we want. So together we can work, raise your concerns, raise your voice, talk to the right officials. If you see there's a major concern, reach out to the traffic marshal, reach out to the traffic police. Each company will have traffic wardens within the company. Reach out to them, so talk to them. The way you talk, the way you raise your concern will help this place a better place.
Okay. So, well, thank you, Diana ma'am, and we wish you all the best. And your final remarks as far as this is concerned, when do you see at least the ORR problem in the short term being sorted? And you, of course, have mentioned very categorically that the long-term solution is the metro line.
It is the metro line.
Okay, and when do you see this issue being sorted? Do you believe that all of the tech companies that you're in conversation with, and as the CM, Mr. Siddaramaiah, has already written to Wipro, but maybe a lot more, do you feel them all coming together in a cohesive effort to solve the bane of ORR?
We have to, is what I'm saying. We have to. We
Yes,
have
but do
to
you
solve.
feel it'll be
So
happening?
it will happen, because it's not just the government problem, right? It is your own employees problem as well. So if we want the government to solve, we have to work with the government.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us on the show. And we sure hope that these issues are sorted. And we, of course, the next time we meet, we should be celebrating the fact that there
Yes.
is another project which
Yes.
has taken place and the roads are
Yes.
decongested and we are no longer in a jam, so to say.
Yes.
Well,
We will.
Bengaluru's ORR, in conclusion, is actually supposed to be India's fast lane to the future. But most days, it feels more like the world's costliest parking lot. Until this tech corridor, the only thing moving fast here will be the economic losses. Well, with that, it's good night from Front Page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and tech. Front Page is powered by MachineCon 2025, invite-only residential summit for GCC heads, exclusively brought to you by AIM Network. And of course, till we meet again, you know what to do. Think AI, think AIM.